I never have to use it, but something tells me I will. Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived. Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks, and the water has risen ever higher without receding.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
That's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is fine.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers, mark my words. Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city.
So they're just refugees?
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, it's time for me to get started.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer, and keep your hands where I can see them.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, my head. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis, we were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay, my head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me. Ah!
That sounds familiar.
My head! I still hear those voices.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let off a few shots. Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. There's something in the pocket. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Do you expect me to know every darn man in this Borg? Stop bothering me. I got paying customers here.
Fine, let me be blunt. Is this your note? I don't see any other bars around.
Look, outsider. I don't know who you are and what you want, but I do know one thing. Even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
Robert Throgmorton hired me to investigate his son's disappearance. I found the note about your debt to Lewis near his cold, dead body, and it looks like Lewis murdered Robert's kid. You want him to come here and ask instead of me?
What?
Don't what me. At best, you're harboring a criminal. At worst, you're an accessory to murder. Tell that to Mr. Throgmorton.
No. No. Throg. Lewis is upstairs. Here's the key. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
You gotta promise to deal with him, once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
What kind of... why do you... your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just 'cause I look different to you? Wanna spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. I didn't mean any offense.
Innsmouthers' bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here, so you better get over it. We are proud of who we are.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
I knew you'd understand. Here you are, Mr. Reed.
I won't tell him. Everyone seems to agree there's been an outbreak of madness around these parts. I'm inclined to believe you fell victim to it too. Plus, it seems heartless to tear apart a family after what you've been through already.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you.
That said, the port's still closed. What will you do?
Hide here, I guess. Don't have a choice. The streets are flooded with police.
I'll make something up to tell Throgmorton.
Thank you again, sir. I won't forget this.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
My condolences, Mr. Throgmorton. I had hoped for a happier outcome.
My poor Albert. Tell me you know who did it. I want to look him in the eyes, make him beg for mercy.
I've tracked down your son's murderer.
Where? Who is he?
And just as I suspected, the Innsmouther Lewis is responsible for your son's murder. He's hiding at the local bar. Just ask the bartender. Seems like he had a bone to pick with your family, and took it out on Albert.
Those filthy scum have done it now. When I'm through with them, they will rue the day they dared lay a finger on a Throgmorton.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now? I'm looking into an outbreak of erratic behavior and madness, all linked to shared visions of this place.
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calming from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause. Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove.